Murakami's book seems to sit between, how can I put this, between what is often referred to as the real world, which is of course in itself kind of very questionable term, and somewhere else, whether it's somewhere else in time or somewhere else in space, and he has a nice way of folding those two together to make a very believable kind of literary space.
It's more intense from a course.
Yeah, I like to stand here and then you get closer. Yeah, you like going to that bit.
Yeah, and this one.
Stuff upstairs is dazzling. Just, and the piece at the end, one is just awestruck by it.
Today's symposium is part of a larger event series called Eyes on Murakami, and the reason I chose this name is because we have a lot of different people here who have different perspectives on Murakami and kind of lending their eyes into this project.
Thank you, Gita, for inviting us. We're very happy to be here, right?
No.
Japanese readers have more fun than English or Polish or other European language readers, because we do have to specify much more. We couldn't get away with something this unspecified.
That's true.
It's kind of like you see the contours, but they're not very clear, and then they become clearer. But we have to ruin it for our readers more. We don't give them that much hermeneutic space to imagine things. We have to specify. So I thought that was kind of a shame, actually.
Highlight was probably the translation symposium on Wednesday.
Yeah.
With Jay Rubin and Shibata-san and El Malouk as well. Really interesting insight into how Murakami gets from his head onto our hands.
Maybe I can talk a little bit about my experience of working with him. My job is a kind of editor to him. I go through some of his translations and I locate simple mistakes and some problematic passages, and we meet and we discuss how to fix the problems. And for quite some time, he always confused kidneys and livers. And but it's not like real doctor operating on a real kidney instead of a real liver. But I was hoping to encounter a passage in which the difference between kidney and liver is a critical matter, but we never encountered that sort of passage, and he got over it, and he now has them right.
Why is 2015 the year when it's okay to publish Hear the Wind Sing and Pinball 1973? And it occurs to me that, beginning with Kafka on the Shore, with Heike in it, and now having Ugetsu Monogatari in, so he started referencing classical Japanese literature, and in a sense we could see him maybe kind of inserting himself into Japanese literary history, or making himself available for that kind of interpretation as somebody who's inheriting a much longer and is involved and connected to a longer Japanese literary history, and that maybe makes it a little easier in a sense to bring out these early works that were, as he says, deeply indebted to Vonnegut and Brautigan.
We were very fortunate to make a little movie many years ago, and today we're still traveling with it, and we were lucky to come to this city to expose our film and to talk about it.
That you use in a different way cinematically. Because in the way I adapt, because I've adapted novels and stuff, and what I try to do is keep the essence of the writer, but then do my own thing, because literature is very different from cinema.
I'm Valeria, I'm from the University of Florence,
And I came here because I'm a big fan of Murakami. I study Japanese literature. I'm really glad because I've met a lot of interesting people. I've done a lot of really interesting things, so I'm really glad.
But here, I feel something new, comfortable. Murakami Haruki, who is staying here, is not the same person I know. Okay? Then I begin to feel, oh, I don't know him well. The person I believe to know well is a little bit different. And this feeling that I don't know him well is so important, so refreshable for me.
A variety of languages, so there would be a Chinese Murakami and Danish Murakami and Italian Murakami and so forth. But I wonder, is there some, so what is it about Murakami's fiction that does that? Because another big thing, I guess, about this idea of global literature, which is another concept that has been put forward, is that it is the authors that deliberately try to speak to a global audience in some way. Like and I don't know though, I mean, because with Murakami we were saying, he doesn't really try to do anything.
And I keep thinking, what in the world is going on? What other writer in the world gets this kind of attention? And before I go on, I want to say, this is the best conference of all of them. These 4 days have been incredible. I mean, other conferences, yeah, they cover literature, or they cover translation, or they stick them all together. They do it in 2 days, and it's great, but it's not this.
A translation symposium, an academic conference, a film exhibit, and an art exhibition, and all about Murakami. I just thought it was a tremendous space to be in for all of this intellectual sharing, and so I'm really happy to be here.
They belong to me, but feel free. Oh man, pass them a bit. Do I look cool?
Thank you.